And this is where you need to pray for your spouse. Whether it's your husband, whether it's your wife, you need to pray for them. Pray, 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 pray. And this is where Jenna has always been very good, because I will tell you right now, ladies, because I know there's a lot of you that follow along. So this is for you ladies out there. This is a ladies specific message. Are you ready for this? There was a time that Jenna and I would literally argue. It would be an all-out fight about going to church. True story. We would literally argue about going to church. At this particular time, I was working 6 days a week. Sunday was my only day off, and I wanted to go do my thing, whether that was sitting at home, whatever. When there was many mornings where Jocelyn and Jenna would go off to church, and me, I would go do my thing. And I will tell you, it took, the more she pushed, the more I resisted. And all of a sudden, I know over time she kind of backed off. And you can, in her perspective, in her story, and maybe this would be a good episode for her and I, there might be an idea for her and I to get together on this, is she started praying about it. Just praying to God that God would open the door and make it to where we could go as a family. So ladies, I want this to be an encouraging message for you. Pray to, open your husband. Us guys are very, 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 very bullheaded. That'll get brought up, by the way. My wife's gonna see this. And I even recorded it, so she has proof of me saying it. But I will tell you right now, I can be very bullheaded. And literally, eventually, one day, I'll never forget. I was sitting in the man cave doing my thing, and all of a sudden, my daughter came in and said, "Hey, Dad, you going to church today?" And my immediate reaction wanted to be, "Well, no, I'm gonna let you guys go do your thing." And something felt different that morning. And what it was God talking on my heart. And, because I would read the Bible and all that stuff. I often felt God's presence more out in the woods than what I do in the church. And there's still moments sometimes I do, to be 100% honest. But all of a sudden, Jocelyn said, "Hey, Dad, you coming to church?" And I said, "Well, why? Is that something do you want me to? Is that something that you want me to do?" And she says, "Well, yeah." I said, "All right, I'll come to church." They were literally just walking out the door. I literally put on my hat, put on my hoodie, and out the door we went for church. And I'll tell you right now, it was absolutely crazy, the ripple effect that has had in my life. And I asked Jenna what changed, and basically what changed was she started, instead of putting the pressure on me and creating conflict in our relationship from going to church on Sunday mornings and all that stuff, it turned into, she just started giving it to God. And I'll tell you what, he changed my heart. Like I said, there's still times where I feel I'm more connected with God out in the woods, out in nature, than I am, say, so much when I go to church. But what I will tell you is it's also important that my daughter sees me being a good steward and a good leader in our home. How can I do that if I'm not doing what I'm expecting her to do? Being the example. Where I might have been being the example in those moments about my health and my journey and that. But what was I teaching her from a faith journey? And I was isolating myself in doing that. And I will tell you guys, I'll just wrap this up. Ladies, pray for them. Pray for them. Pray for your husbands. I'm telling you, church has become very much a focal point for us. I tell you what, there's a church family there. There's people that I see just only on Sundays. I never see them any other time. I just see them on Sundays only, or in other little things that we do, getting involved in missions, getting involved in serving in the welcome team. We just did that this past weekend. And those who follow me along on social, you guys see that because we'll post that we're serving. And I'm telling you right now, there's something about just simply whatever God is calling you to serve in that arena. Maybe you just want to go to church. Just go to church, sit in the upper deck or sit in the back and just listen. And I'm here to tell you there's a lesson there. And I'll tell you, ladies, just pray. Plain and simple, ladies, just pray. He'll come around. It might. I'm not saying it's going to take a week. I'm not saying it's going to take a year. It might take 5 years, but I think you might be surprised at the results you get once you personally back off and you just start praying for them, and not spitefully praying for them, by the way. I want to touch on that. Not, Lord, you better open up this man's eyes before I pit pat, slap him in the face begrudgingly. God, don't listen to that. You need to make sure your heart's in the right place of the intention of your prayer. And because, once again, guilty of that, by the way. And weird, the prayer didn't get answered. Who would have thought? But making sure your intent for your prayers in the right place, not having deceitful, but pray for your spouse. Pray for them. Promise you he'll come around. If I can come around, they can come around. Guaranteed your money back.